the guts to say directly to the other girl. For example, her fake tits look awful. She has terrible taste in clothes. She's a slut. It is ambiguous to what you're doing, fundamentally agreeing with him, being nice during your conversation, and then later altering his picture in a thumbnail and talking about how he really is a blue pill male, employing beta strategies in his own life. Had you said that you believed in your debate would be fine, but doing it in this way is feminine, bitchy type move in my opinion. He said, I didn't agree with Donovan. Donovan agreed with me when I pressed him on his rhetoric. He conceded a bunch of points I didn't. What? Are you kidding me? I didn't concede anything. He said at the end of the debate, when I asked him if he would change his rhetoric, he said that he wouldn't because it'd be less catchy, revealing, okay, whatever. So I wouldn't change my rhetoric because it's less catchy. Is that what you're saying? So let me go back here. Because it's less catchy, huh? Yet you want to call Rollo Tomasi a cowardly liar. You want to call me a beta male, right?
Yo, what's good? How you doing?
So you're the only one allowed to use catchy tunes and or catchy rhetoric. Yet I don't do it the way you do it. You do it to insult people. Kevin is a troll, guys. That's what this comes down to. He is a glorified troll. The very definition of a troll is someone who pokes fun at somebody else who is doing more than them to get that person's attention. This is literally exactly what Kevin does. He is a glorified troll. He has 8,000 subscribers. He'll probably top out at 10, and then he's out of here. Nobody buys anything this... And again, I haven't heard anything that suggests that he knows what he's talking about. All he is talking about is what we aren't. Donovan's a beta. He's not alpha. He's contradicting himself. Tell me why, Kevin. Tell me why. And the reason you can't tell me why is because you don't have the correct information. You don't have the correct information. I didn't settle with Devin. I settled down with her. Devin didn't ride the carousel through her 20s and 30s. She was married through her 20s and 30s. Yes, she slept around. That doesn't mean that she slept around in her 20s and 30s. Idiot. This guy is so transparently disingenuous. It's ridiculous. Dude, no wonder why Rich Cooper and Myron and all them ignore this guy. That's all this guy does.
Whole top 20%, it doesn't fucking matter. All that matters is how are you benefiting your life? How are you pushing yourself? Don't use external data to give you what your destiny is going to look like. Because if I used that whole data thing, you know what I would have been like? A freaking loser. I would have been a simp, would have been a beta boy for the rest of my life, never would have had any girl take me seriously, would not have the rotation of girls that I ever had in my life. I think
Oh, give me a break. And dude, the 80-20 rule is real, dude. You know what? Actually, let's not take external data. Let's just take real life. Here are the facts, Cameron. Here are the facts, Cameron. Most men are sexually invisible to most women. Those are facts. Those are facts. Most women do not see most men. When you ask women, hey, who cheats more, men or women? Well, men do. The reason why they say men do is they're not thinking about the whole pool of men. No, they're thinking about the top 10, 20% of men. That's what they are. So it does matter, Cam.
One point, I had 7 girls on my rotation. It's some ridiculous number. And this is not to brag. This is to let you know that when you apply yourself and you push yourself and you learn how to lead and become a man, boom.
Oh, you learn how to lead and become a man, boom. Okay. He actually dropped some knowledge, but tell me, Cam, how do you do that? Let's rewind this.
Any girl take me seriously would not have the rotation of girls that I ever had in my life. I think at one point, I had 7 girls on my rotation. It's some ridiculous.
This guy said he had 7 girls in his rotation.
Stop the cap.
Cameron, you couldn't get laid in a fucking brothel, fam. You've had 7 girls. Dude, I've never had 7 girls in a rotation. And if I haven't, I know you haven't. 7 girls in a rotation, huh? Let's crunch some numbers here. If you have 7 girls in a rotation, you've got to be fucking 7 days a week. Having 7 girls in a rotation doesn't mean you've slept with 7 girls in a month. Those might have been one-offs. Those might have been one-night stands. 7 girls in a rotation. See, again, this is why we know this guy has no idea what he's talking about. This guy is straight capping. I've had 7 girls in a rotation. Dude. Even the most skilled players don't have 7 girls in the rotation. What else? Dude, what else do you have time to do, Cam?
Number. And this is not to brag. This is to let you know that when you apply yourself and you push yourself and you learn how to lead and become a man, boom, there you go. Now you're set.
Oh, you learned how to become a man. Boom. There you go. Now you're set. Oh, that kind of reminds me of Steve the Dean Williams. This is why me and Steve the Dean had to part ways, because all Steve did was talk about, oh, you got to be a man. You got to. When I press him on how do you do that, it's like a broken record. All Steve does is talk shit about men and hold men accountable for shit that we didn't learn in the first place. This guy's doing the same thing. Well, just how to learn how to band and learn how to lead, and boom, you're all set. Oh, it's just that simple, huh? Well, tell us how you do that, Cam.
Regarding the white pill, okay? The white pill, actually this person mentioned a comment, and I want you to tell me if you agree. This is from Terry McGonis. He's saying the white pill is the hope pill. Opposite of the black pill, they believe that nothing is over, and they have the power to change your outcome. God damn, I fucking love that shit. Kevin, what's your whole take on this?
Boom. He described it perfectly. That's exactly it. People often compare the white pill to the red pill. No, they're complementary to one another, right?
Mm-hmm.
The red pill and the blue pill. The red pill can only be...
There is no such thing as a white pill, guys. There's no such thing as the white pill, man.
compared to the blue pill, all right? It's either...
John Galt says, Donovan, with all due respect, why do you waste your time on fuckers like this? They only drain other people out of their insignificance, try to get attention and self-validation. I hear you, John. I hear you. But I had this guy on to debate. Number one. I tried to do things the right way. He mischaracterized the things that I said. And after I had this debate with him, I put his links in the chat. You know, I thanked him for being on, and now he's going to go off and talk shit about me. Listen, and I know a lot of guys are like, Donovan, why do you say anything about these guys? Leave these guys alone. Listen, I agree with you, but consider this. It's easier for you guys to say, well, just leave the haters alone when you're not the target of the hate. Don't get me wrong, you can't give trolls too much attention, but this guy, like, this is the end all be all. This is the end all be all. So I don't think I'm wasting my time too much yet, but I'm not going to stand idly by while a man I opened up my platform to, I treated him with the utmost respect and courtesy, I had him on my show, right? Put his links in the chat, told people to go subscribe to his channel, etc., and then he goes off and he calls me a beta, or that I don't know what I'm talking about. Nope, can't let him get away with that.
The truth or a lie, right? And the truth tends to be uncomfortable, the lie tends to be comfortable. But technically, you're ascribing a value judgment there by saying uncomfortable or comfortable. Technically, it's not in the domain of morality. Actually, Roloff says this himself, and he's right about this. It's amoral, right? It's either the truth or a lie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
you know what I figured out about these guys? Kevin and this guy, Grand Cam, all they do is talk. They're red pill masturbators. There's nothing practical about what they're saying. All they're doing is talking philosophy, and they're just talking in these circles, round and round and round. Everything they talk about is just based in theory. And as we all know, everything works in theory, right? Everything works in theory. Everything sounds good in theory. But these guys don't have the receipts. Cam says he's got a rotation to 7 girls. That's bullshit. Show me your work. Well, I don't have to prove anything. Yes, the fuck you do. If you're going to be a content creator, if you want people to take you seriously, if you had a 7-girl rotation, fam, we need receipts. Otherwise, people are going to see you for the joke that you are. All these guys do is talk about theory and philosophy and the truth. Nah, man. Nope. No, these guys are not living the lives they say they're living. All they do is talk about it. That's all they do is talk about it. These guys' audience are what we call red pill masturbators. They listen to red pill content all day, every day, but they don't actually go out and do anything about it. That's what again, red pill masturbation. That's all this is just talk and philosophy and thoughts and theory. Like, Kevin, give us some practical advice. Give us some practical knowledge. Unlike Grand Cam, you just learn to be a leader, learn to be a man, and boom, you're all set.
once the truth is there, once you take the red pill, right? A new game happens where, based on these red pill truths, do you operate through that reality with hope and faith, or do you operate through that reality?
You see, it's just too much talk. Do you operate through that reality? It's just too much talk. Like, these guys are just talking in circles. There's nothing practical. There are no anecdotes. I haven't heard Kevin tell a personal story one time. All of their talking points is just talk. That's it. Operating through this reality and morality. Dude, enough of the talk. Show me the work.
Nihilism and apathy, where basically you're just like, well, this red pill actually sucks. I sought the truth, I see the truth, I freaking hate it, and it sucks, so now I'm going to do nothing, and I'm just going to sit here. And because this truth sucks, I'm going to use it as justification for my nihilistic behavior, saying everything's pointless, right? So there's that perspective. Now, the answer...
That perspective, dude. These guys are red pill masturbators. They're clowns, they're trolls, and all they do is sit around and talk.
To that, because again, most guys come from a place of trauma. When they take the red pill, naturally they're going to become a little bit black pill first, right? Red pill rage...
That's the anger phase, Kevin.
Is actually in the black pill spectrum. I consider red pill rage to actually be black pill, right? So it's okay to experience that every once in a while. You're never going to be fully black pill, you're never going to be fully white pill. Just like you're never going to be fully red pill, you're not going to be fully blue pill. You're going to be a red pill guy and have some blue pill moments and just fall for lies and comfortable lies, such as the comfortable lies that Rolo, Donovan, and Freshman talk about all the time.
Really? And what comfortable lies do we talk about, Kevin? Still haven't pointed out any comfortable lies. Still waiting on that. And look at Cam and his dumbass. He acts like he's such a fucking big shot.
They're actually blue pill, all right? So
these guys are so silly.
Whole other thing, right? Rolo pill, that's blue pill, all right? And Rolo, you've already dodged me on so many debates. You've dodged Alex with playing fire on debates. I should maybe just say this again. If you want to debate me, look, Donovan and I had a good discussion. If you want to have just a cool, normal discussion, we can do that. But I have a feeling especially after you got schooled by Lauren Southern to the point where you actually refused to post it on your own channel, I have a feeling that you don't want to actually do that.
No, the reason he doesn't want to debate you is because Rolo is smarter than I am. That's why Rolo doesn't want to debate you. He's smarter than I am. I took the bait, guys. I took the bait. I shouldn't have had this idiot, this clown on my channel. Like, I regret that wholeheartedly. I extended this guy professional courtesy he clearly wasn't ready for, and the reason he failed so miserably is because he's not about shit. All this guy does is talk. And it really wasn't even a debate. Okay, look, Kevin, well, I won the debate, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Whatever. If you want to take I don't give a shit. You don't want to debate. You want to argue. You want to troll. You want to call people names until they have to address you, and then when you challenge them to a debate, he's clearly afraid of me. Ain't nobody afraid of you, Kevin. Nobody's afraid of you. You're a 27, 28-year-old punk who lives in Vietnam who doesn't know as much as he thinks he does. Kevin uses all these big fucking words. Kevin, dude, really? Like, the dating market is not about all this theory and complex thinking. No. It's about going in there and actually doing something about it. Like, real talk. If you're going to refute something, I need to know why. I need to know how you know why. That's all this guy does is talk.
Has a history of losing debates to people who are in their 20s and are half his age. But anyway.
Yeah. So you say Rolo lost a debate. What does that prove, Kevin? You see, just because you think someone lost the debate, that does not mean that the Rational Male series is all of a sudden just rendered moot and pointless. See, Kevin thinks that debating someone means that you have successfully challenged their quote-unquote ideology. Just because you think you won a debate against someone, that means jack shit, KR Dub. You still live the life that you live, I still live the life that I live. That's the point.
Actually, he's calling us and he wants to say something. Oh, Rolo, is that you? Rolo, where you at, bro?
So yeah, once you're in that,
I am dumber for having watched that. So now we're morning shock jock. It's disrespectful fucking fanboys, man.
Red pill frame, right? Once you've taken the red pill, and
see, too much, dude. Again, too much thinking. No, Kevin, it ain't that complicated, homie. You're trying to overcomplicate things so that you can make yourself a part of the community. There's not much thinking involved, bruh. MLD says it best: make money, make muscles, learn game. This is ridiculous. All this guy does is talk about it. He's a red pill masturbator along with this grand cam guy.
Thing happens of you're in a paradigm of black pill versus white pill. That's like the new game. You know what I mean? So are you operating through that reality with hope and faith you can actually do something, or do you become nihilistic about it? And this transcends, dating, for example. So for example, there's a book being written right now by Michael Malice, who's in the political space, called White Pill, and he's he has that same outlook. Funny enough, he's really into philosophy and stuff as well. Very smart guy.
Yeah, see, guys who are into philosophy just sit around and talk. Guys who are into philosophy just sit around and talk. And again, and this is really no slight on them. They're young. They can't have the kind of experience that is required to talk about things on this level. So I'm not gonna blame them. I'm not gonna hold their age against them in that regard. They just haven't had the time to have the experience. But these guys are acting like they're experts, and they're not. I don't see any receipts. I don't see anything. All these guys do is talk. That's it. This is all talk. They're just running their mouths.
And he never compares the white pill to the red pill. In fact, he always talks about how he's red pill. It's just that once you're red pill is a descriptive claim about reality. Red pill versus blue pill, that dichotomy there, right? And then white pill versus black pill is prescriptive or a normative claim of like what one ought to do, right? What should you do? It's making a value judgment of what you should do based on a descriptive reality. So if you guys want to have a better idea of this,
he's overthinking this guy. He's overthinking all this. He's overthinking all this. All this philosophical talk that's all jibber jabber. That's all jibber jabber. Apollo says, to me, all this boils down to is Kevin trying to appeal to the guys that hate the success of guys like Donovan Sharpe, Kevin Samuels, Rollo, etc. And guys that don't want to do the hard work of self-improvement. They don't do anything to help guys improve their lives, just talk shit to gain views, nothing more. That's it. That is it. I'm going to ban Apollo because he literally took my thunder. That's what I was going to say before I dropped the mic, but Apollo's my guy.
I have a video on my channel. It's called the Pill Compass, I believe, where actually I use like Cartesian coordinates, X and Y axis to explain to you.
Are you X, Y, the Y, the X, Y, and Z axis? Dude, guys, listen. Let me make this very simple for you. I'm going to make this very simple for you. Living this life, it's not simple, but it ain't that complicated. This guy's talking about cognitive dissonance and what lens and philosophy and X, Y, and Z. Kevin, ain't nobody here trying to... Dude, this is not a philosophical space, my friend. This is a space of action. Like you have sorely mistaken your audience. You think that the guys who watch you are in the majority. No, they're not. Kevin Ray Wilder and this guy Grand Cam, they appeal to men who just want to sit around and talk shit about other men. They want to talk about philosophy and theory. None of these guys has any proof that they know what the hell they're talking about. Just a bunch of fucking videos talking shit about dudes doing better than they are. That's really what it is. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. Now he wants to go on and debate people and this and that and the other. Listen, you can declare victory in whatever debate you want. You can spin whatever. But what we talk about works. What we talk about is true. And if you want to refute that, I need to hear some anecdotes. I need to hear something that makes sense. I don't need to be hearing about X, Y, and Z axes. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Trigonometry? Calculus? He'll probably say, well, trigonometry and calculus has nothing to do with the X, Y, and Z axis. Oh, my bad, Mr. fucking Brainiac. Kevin, bitches don't give a fuck about guys who sound smart, fam. They just don't. This guy thinks that he is sexually attractive because he just sits around and talks all day. Unbelievable.
This concept. And actually I have another video as well called Rethinking the Red Pill. I think it's actually the main video on my channel. If you just go to my channel homepage, you can see that and I just explain it. Because I explain this a lot, I'm happy to explain it, but once you put it cogently in a video already, it's kind of like, well, it's better to just link people to the video, you know?
You know, the red pill stuff, again, it's mostly bread and butter advice. It's just like, you know, if she does this, you kick her out of your house immediately. Come on, guys. Seriously.
Yes, if she disrespects you, you kick her out of your house immediately. Listen to what he says here.
Dude, I'll tell you this, Kevin. I have to tell you this story. This one time, this girl that I'm dating, okay? We're on very good terms right now. But
this is funny. Watch this. You can already tell that what's going to come out of his mouth is bullshit. Look at all the action. Watch this.
No, if she does this, you kick her out of your house immediately.
You kick her out of your house immediately. Yeah, that's what you do. If she disrespects you, kick her the fuck out of your house, fam. See, what these guys are afraid to do what's necessary to get respect from women. And again, I don't blame them. They're young. You need experience to be able to do this. But don't pretend like it's stupid when you're afraid to do what's necessary.
Come on, guys. Seriously. Because I'll tell you this, Kevin. I have to tell you this story. This one time, this girl that I was, this girl...
Oh. There's a sign of deception right there. This girl, as he thinks of this story...
that I'm dating, okay?
She, looking up and to the left...
very good terms right now, but it was really funny how it happened. She showed up late to the date. Also did not text me to let me know when she was on her way. So I thought she was just not showing up. So I'm in my PJs, I'm watching Netflix, I'm watching How to Become a Tyrant on Netflix, which is, by the way, an amazing Netflix series you should watch. It's only like 5 or 6 episodes, but it talks about like Stalin, Hitler, Idi Amin, all these guys, how they became powerful. And it's very interesting, like how are people such sheep? And then you understand why people become sheep and why they're so easily influenced by, criminals and tyrants and stuff like that. So it kind of helps you understand the red pill manosphere.
Get to the fucking point, Cam.
Side as well. Like, why are people just so blindly following everybody without even having their own set of critical thinking skills, right? So
nobody's blindly following anybody. One thing about the manosphere audience is not stupid. They know the difference between the men who know what they're talking about and the men who do not.
So all these things were happening. She was late. She didn't tell me when she was on time or when she was on her way. And then she sent me a message saying, wait a minute. And I told her, hey, listen, you know what? Let's just cancel tonight. And that was on Instagram. She sees this on Instagram. She's in my parking lot and she's like, wait a minute. You want me to go home now? And I'm like, yeah, I told you, like, text me and I don't know. And you said you're showing up late and all that kind of stuff. So I enforced my boundaries. And she was obviously not happy at the time. So she came all the way from a 30-minute drive from her house to my house for the first date. She drove home and she's like, I feel like you're trying to teach me a lesson. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to teach you a lesson. I'm not here to baby you. I'm not here to be your dad. What I'm trying to explain to you is that I have these set of, requests that I made for you, just like you would make any requests for any guy, and you did not honor them and you were not communicating with me. So she thought about it. Next morning, she's like, I still want to see you. And I'm like, yeah, and I still want to see you too, because now you show a side of me that you're willing to understand, like, it's not just about you. It's about, like, both of us, right? So now imagine Myron or any...
Stop the cap.
I'm going to be very clear when I say this. Cameron, you're full of shit, my friend. That did not happen. Not only did that not happen, you're not seeing that girl. That story that you told is 1,000% bullshit. 1,000% bullshit. Women don't say, I feel like you're trying to teach me a lesson. A man who knows women doesn't say, they don't say, well, I have a list of a list of boundaries that I set and you need to adhere to them. No, you don't have. Shout out to Rollo Tomasi. Don't explicate, demonstrate. See, that's where he fucked up. That's where he fucked up. This guy likes to explicate. He likes to explain. He wants us to think that by explaining what his boundaries were, that turned her on. Hold up. Hang on a second. Not a fucking chance, Cameron. You are a fucking liar. The story you just told was a lie. That was bullshit. And you can't... I would love to see those Instagram messages. You are full of shit. You're full of it. That absolutely did not happen. This bitch was late for a date, didn't call you or text you that she was going to be late. You send her a message on Instagram, hey, or whatever you said, let's reschedule, whatever the case may be. Wait, I'm in the parking lot.
Stop the cap.
That's bullshit. Well, she drove 30 minutes for a first date.
Stop the cap.
Bullshit. 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 That absolutely positively did not happen. Because if it happened the way you said it did, you wouldn't still be fucking her. So either this girl is a beluga whale or you're full of shit. Let's listen to this bullshit story again. Just listen.
Wait a minute. You want me to go home now?
This is
It's making a value judgment of what you should do based
yeah, whatever, Kevin.
Cogently and
story.
Yeah.
Also did not text me to let me know when she was on her way.
better to just link people to the video,
The red pill stuff, again, it's mostly bread and butter advice. It's just like, if she does this, you kick her out of your house immediately. Come on, guys. Seriously. Because I'll tell you this, Kevin. I have to tell you the story. This one time, this girl that I'm dating, okay? We're on very good terms right now, but it was really funny how it happened. She showed up late to the date.
How long did that think? Let's see what story I can... Let's play that again. Watch.
I'll tell you this, Kevin. I have to tell you the story. This one time, this girl that I'm dating, okay? We're on very good terms right now, but it was really funny how it happened.
It's funny. You can actually see that Kevin doesn't really buy this story either. Kevin doesn't buy this story. This guy is making this shit up. This guy is making shit up.
Showed up late to the date.
Showed up late to the date. Strike one.
Also did not text me to let me know when she was on her way.
Strike two. If a woman shows up late to a date, you 86, you bounce. Why? Because your time is valuable to you. And if you wait around for a woman who shows up late to a date, things might go well for a little while. But any woman who shows up late on a meetup or a date with you is a woman showing you that she does not respect your time. And if you stick around and give her your presence, even though she was late, you're showing her that you don't respect her time either. A lot of guys like to say, man, my girlfriend, she comes over, but, she didn't really stay long. Every time we make plans, she's always rescheduling. Was she late on your first date? Yeah, as a matter of fact, she was. Yeah. She doesn't respect your time, homie. You have to show women that you respect your time. If she shows up late to a date, guys, bounce. Be the fuck up out of there. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. The only way you even consider giving her a second chance is if she reaches out to you. So this girl was not only late to the date, she didn't call or text or Instagram that she was running late. So let me get this straight. This woman was so late that you had time to get into your pajamas and watch this interesting documentary about Stalin and Hitler. Dude, she was so late that you had time to Netflix and chill all by yourself. Huh. And that's something. That is awfully late. This guy's story didn't add up. This never happened. If she was that late to the date, that date never happened.
So I thought she was just not showing up. So I'm in my PJs, I'm watching Netflix, I'm watching How to Become a Tyrant on Netflix, which is, by the way, an amazing Netflix series you should watch. It's only like 5 or 6 episodes, but it talks about like Stalin, Hitler, Idi Amin, all these guys, how they became powerful. And it's very interesting, like how are people such sheep? And then you understand why people become sheep and why they're so easily influenced by criminals and tyrants and stuff like that. So it kind of helps you understand the red pill manosphere side as well.
Kevin's like, dude, just get to this bullshit story.
Like, why are people just so blindly following everybody without even having their own set of critical thinking skills, right? So
this is why people follow us, because they do have critical thinking skills, my friend.
All these things were happening. She was late. She didn't tell me when she was on time or when she was on her way. And then she sent me a message saying, wait a minute. And I told her, hey, listen, you know what? Let's just cancel tonight. And that was on Instagram.
So she no call, no shows. She's late. She doesn't tell you she's running late. If she's late and doesn't tell you she's running late, that means you got flaked on. This guy got flaked on. That's what happened. She doesn't call, she doesn't text and say, hey, I'm running late. Now, 15 minutes before the date, if the girl you're going on a date with, hey, listen, I'm going to be 5 minutes late, my hair wasn't dry, whatever. Okay, fine, whatever. She had the common courtesy to let you know, hey, I'm going to be a little bit late, but it's because of X, Y. Fine. But if she doesn't call or text to let you know, hey, I'm running a little bit late, that is a woman who is flaking on you. She's not gonna she's not gonna not call you and then show up, I don't know. So again, so much time went by before she showed up that you're in your pajamas watching this documentary, and now all of a sudden you want us to believe that she's in the parking lot?
Sees this on Instagram, she's in my parking lot, and she's like, wait a minute, you want me to go home now? And I'm like, yeah, I told you, like, text me, and I don't know, and you said you're showing up late and all that kind of stuff, so I enforced my boundaries. And she was obviously not happy at that time, so she came all the way from a 30-minute drive from her house to my house for the first date. She drove home, and she's like, I feel like you're trying to teach me a lesson. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to teach you a lesson. I'm not here to baby you. I'm not here to be your dad. What I'm trying to explain to you is that I have these set of, requests that I made for you, just like you would make any requests for any guy, and you did not honor them, and you were not communicating with me. So she thought about it. Next morning, she's like, I still want to see you.
Stop the cap.
Demonstrate, don't explicate. No woman in the history of time has ever said the next morning after getting a 30-minute sermon about you setting boundaries and adhering to this and that, I still want to see you. That was bullshit. You got flaked on. And the reason why you made up this bullshit story was so that you could refute what Myron says, which is don't give her the time of day.
And I'm like, yeah, and I still want to see you too, because now you show a side of me that you're willing to understand, like, it's not just about you, it's about, like, both of us, right?
Oh my God, this guy.
So now imagine Myron or anyone else in the red pill situation, like Myron, again, I'm sorry, man, I know in the situation you would have dropped the ball, just saying. If you, I'm not sorry, I believe you would have mishandled the whole situation. I listened to your advice on the situation.
Yes, that's exactly right, my friend. If Myron were in that situation, if I were ever in that situation, the only way I would consider going out on another date with her is if she begs me, hey, I'm sorry, but listen, if she no calls, no shows, like that's it. Like that's it. It's over. It's done. It's over and done with. Yes, I've been flaked on plenty of times. You can't win them all. But for this dude to expect us to believe, for this dude to expect us to believe that she showed up, he told her to go home, right? I feel like you're trying to teach me, well, it's because you didn't adhere to blah, 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 blah. You know what? I still want to see you. Come on, man. Come on.
When that happened, mine would be like, well, you just got to kick her to the curb and you got to, like, you know, get her out of her life and she's not into a high value man and all that freaking bump.
Right. This means that she doesn't respect your time, my friend. See, this is why we know Grand Cam is capping. This is literally not how it works. This is funny. Dude, if you have the requisite experience with women, you know when someone's full of shit. That story was that was shit. That was bullshit. Not one word of that story was true.
Jumbo. But the way I handled it was much different. I gave her another chance and I explained to her where she fell short, where she could have done better. And now we're seeing each other and goddamn, we are having a great time seeing each other.
Oh, that is abso-fucking-lutely ridiculous. Dude, this dude is so full of shit. Here's why I decided to give you another chance. And you're explaining things to her. Girls don't fuck dudes who explain shit. Girls don't want to know they're playing the game, Cameron. They just want to play the game. Girls don't date guys who explain shit to them. Dude, even when I reward Devin, I don't tell her why I'm doing it. Well, the reason I'm buying you this $700 Coach bag is because of no. Hey, pick out any bag you want. Now, she knows she ain't getting it for free. She knows it's because she sucked my dick the last 2 weeks without putting up a, you know what I mean? Like she held it down, she got me SEO, she made me a bunch of money. She knows. But I never say, hey, the reason why I'm rewarding you with the $700 Coach bag is because you did A, B, C, X, Y, and Z. No! Not how it works. This guy's a fucking liar. Yeah, Devin says in the chat on Sharpe Stream, said, what woman goes on a first date to a dude's house? Yeah.
Nope.
Dre Raven says, if someone is so late for an appointment that you've changed into your loungewear, that's hours late. Even if I bought the story, which I don't, this makes him look beyond pathetic. Right. He had no other prospects. You gave her a second chance because she was your only option. And we're having a great, but listen, and I'm seeing her out. By God, we're having a great time.
Life, and she's not into a high value man and all that freaking mumbo jumbo. But the way I handled it was much different. I gave her another chance and I explained to her where she fell short, where she could have done better. And now we're seeing each other and goddamn, we are having a great time seeing.
Dude, this dude's a fucking liar. This dude is a fucking liar. Wow.
Each other. And it's going in a very positive direction right now. And she's on it. And now she's like thankful. Every day she wakes up when she's sending me DMs on Instagram or she's sending me text messages, Kevin, she's saying to herself, thank God this man is still in my life. Because I could have dropped the ball, and I could have dropped the ball too. Bro, give it 1 year ago, I would have been like totally beta male. She's like, oh, what's your problem? Why can't you just like understand that I'm just trying to tell you to come outside and you don't come out or whatever, right? And just be like,
I think that's probably what happened. This is such a fucking, this guy, oh my God. Listen, I have never heard a story that I believe less than that one. Ever. Like, I can't think of a story that I believe less than the one he told. Cameron. Come on, man. Cameron. Ay.
a crybaby, red pill, black pill, or go into the black pill stage and be like, oh, no, whatever, right? So I share this with you just to let you know, like, you know, the development that I had in this past year from coaching, again, thanks to, you know, the academies I was a part of, and just understanding myself better and using red pill knowledge, you know, white pill knowledge, of course, it's taking bits and pieces.
Oh, red pill knowledge. Oh, yes, and don't forget white pill.
This is what I learned about the black pill, why people believe in it, and blue pill, you know, whatever. And I combined it, and I realized, okay, this is what I feel like. I'm staying true to myself, and I'm staying centered and grounded with myself. I'm not going to do what MLD will tell me to do. I'm not going to do what Myron's going to tell me to do, or what loser Richard Cooper is telling me to do. I'm going to do what Cameron feels right. And if I screw up, I'll self-assess. Maybe watch a few videos, maybe read some books, maybe watch some Kevin Wilder videos, and they'll be like, okay, so this is where I fell short, right? So this, I want every guy who's watching this, like, don't blindly follow us. Like, don't blindly follow me. Don't blindly follow Kevin Ray Wilder. Kevin has some points you probably don't agree with. There's some things that Kevin said on here that I don't really necessarily agree with, like everything he says. Same with Coach Whitepill. And even we had a 4-way stream. Remember that with me, you, and Alex, right? And Coach Whitepill. There's some things Alex says I disagree with. Same with you and Josh. But the good thing is that if you can just keep an open mind to the audience, like keep an open mind and take bits and pieces we like about Kevin, Josh, myself, and anyone else in the manosphere that has benefited you and given you great advice, and curate to you. and unlock whoever it is, like Daniel.
This dude just said a whole lot of nothing. Cam, we're not gonna watch or listen to you. You don't have receipts, dude. You just sat here and lied about a land whale who flaked on you. The fuck are we doing?
Right? Sad K, William Green, all these people. William Green, you have a comment also in here saying, I take personality over looks. You look pretty, but if you have a bad attitude, I can't vibe with her. But bro, let me tell you something. You wouldn't approach her. You don't approach a girl because of her personality. You can't fuck her personality. You can fuck her.
And also, the two things are mutually exclusive as well. You can find a girl that's hot and also has a good personality. It's not like...
Oh, you can find a girl that's hot and has a good personality. Where, in Vietnam, Kevin? Huh? A girl that's hot that has a good personality. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. You know what? There are girls out there that are hot and have a good personality. You want to know where they are? They're married. They're taken. Those girls are few and far between. And if these guys had any experience with women, they would know this. So because I settled with Devin, 45 years old, I'm not sexually attracted to her, I'm settling. No, you want a girl who's hot and has a good personality. Yeah, good luck with that.
You need one or the other. The girls I date are the ones that I see beyond just, hooking up or have both. Because otherwise, if they don't have both, and you're right, like if they just look good and they're boring. Right?
Yeah, prove it, Kevin. The girls you date, really? Prove it. Prove it. Like, this is insane. This is insane. These guys are frauds. These guys are fucking clowns. They're saying a whole lot of nothing. You
don't want to see them anymore. Even the sex itself gets stale. And
my God.
Even that itself, even if they're really hot, that starts to get stale as well if they're just really boring, So you can have both. And look, getting both isn't easy, but that's why it's important to develop yourself as a man to be the type of guy who can get girls who have both. Right? That's the whole point of, not the whole point, but that's the point of you trying to get better with women is you want to end up dating the women you want to date.
Yes.
Do not fucking settle, man. If you're settling, and right now, if that's the best that you can do, if those are the options that are available to you, that's fine, but you still want to try to improve over time. You're doing yourself a disservice if the girl that you're dating, if there's some aspect of them, especially if you're in a monogamous relationship with them, you're doing a
See, this is him talking about me again.
Service to her and yourself if you are not both extremely physically attracted to her and extremely fit and emotionally attracted to her as well, right? At that point, you're wasting your time, you're wasting her time, and this is why the majority of relationships in the U.S. freaking suck and end in divorce and end in terrible breakups because the two people actually they would rather be with somebody else. That's all it comes down to, right? So if you're an actual high value guy and you strive to become a high value guy, you will attract high value women who are both hot, who stimulate you physically and also intellectually. That's the whole point.
See, hot girls don't stimulate you mentally. Kevin, have you seen the Fresh and Fit podcast? Have you watched Kevin Samuels? Like, these guys are talking about... This is in the land of make-believe. This is why you know these guys have no experience. What... This is why this dude has 8,000 subscribers. This is why he has 8,000 subscribers. This guy is lying. The kinds of women I date... You date hot Vietnamese women who have good personalities. Okay. But you have an American audience. So unless you're advocating for them to move to Vietnam, I don't know what we're talking about here. I don't know what we're talking about. And boring hot girls, you never get tired of fucking them, Kevin. They're hot.
Think alpha males are going around settling for girls? No. That's a beta male move. By definition. Do not fucking settle, bro. Don't settle. Come on.
The takeaway from this...
He says, do not settle. I settled down, so he said I settled.
Stream for me and for my audience is that, guys, do not blindly follow people. Have your eyes wide open. There is no one truth of being a man. There's multiple...
See, listen to this guy. Do not blindly follow people. You guys have no receipts yet. Believe us. Believe us.
Ways of going about it. Pick and choose little things, like pick a little bit of Kevin, a little bit of me, a little bit of MLD or whoever else you listen to, and sprinkle what makes sense. And it's not blaming women. It's holding yourself extremely accountable, 100%. That's what the white pill is all about. Extreme ownership. And then you can have a great life for yourself, and also a great life for your woman too, and for children if you want children.
Anybody?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Children in America? Oh boy.
To be red pill, but you have to look at their actions. If they're not willing to have discussions with people, especially people that they disagree with, then they're showing themselves not truly be red pill.
See, okay. So if we don't get into a bad faith debate with someone like you, then they're not really red pill. Kevin, fuck you. You don't get to decide who's red pill and who's not. Fuck out of here.
Right. And I think that's really important that, Cam and I have discussions like this, like the discussion I had with Donovan, the discussion I had with MGTOW Dictionary, future discussions that I'll have with guys who I disagree with. If you're truly red pilled, you're going to try to have a discussion because you're not afraid to...
Kevin, the discussions you have are in bad faith. my friend. They're in bad faith. The reason why you want the attention of these guys is so that you can talk bad about them. That's it. Like, dude, you guys saw at the beginning of this broadcast, he characterized that email exchange between him and Heather as Donovan ducked. He dodged. He canceled. He pulled out. Nobody pulled out, Kevin. That's not what happened. Kevin Ray Wilder has a bad reputation. This guy is a clout-chasing fraud who lives in Vietnam trying to instruct American men how to date American women. You're trying to take a shortcut, Kevin. There is no shortcut to success. There is no shortcut to success, my friend. You are trying to take a shortcut by going after the biggest fish and, oh, Rollo Tomassi is a clown and all this. Say whatever you want, man. This will be the last time I ever address this clown. This will be the last time I ever address this clown. And again, I sincerely apologize to all of my followers for having subjected you to that discussion that he wants to characterize as a debate. You don't want to debate, Kevin. You just want to argue. You want to point out one little logical fallacy that you dreamed up and use that as a referendum on one's entire life experience. That's all you do, man. Well, Donovan said this, but Rollo said that, so they contradicted themselves. Right. Right. And because I settled down with Devin, that means I'm settling for her. No, I definitely did not settle for Devin. I literally sculpted and molded her into the woman I wanted and needed her to be. She is the best woman for me right now. When she ceases to become the best woman for me right now, then guess what? It's time for Donovan Sharpe to move on. Settling down does not mean settling. I don't have time to do 5-hour live streams talking shit about men. I got a legacy to build. I got a company to run. I got money to make. I don't have time to sit around and theorize about this philosophy in X, Y, and Z axes. This ain't a fucking TI-92 calculator, idiot. This is real fucking life. And Grand Cam, I dare you to say something about me. You little fraud. Yeah, I know that you work for your father at a Mexican restaurant, two-chain restaurant, in Los Angeles, California. And if you want to press me, motherfucker, this past summer, I happen to know in great detail what happened between you and somebody else in a theater, at a mansion, at a party that you were invited to, and what happened the morning after. Say something about me. Go on and say something. Dude, I dare you. I dare you. Bruh, I will air your ass out. You sit here and act like you know what you're talking about. You don't know shit. You know absolute shit. You don't know anything. And for you to expect us to believe that bullshit you're talking here, you're even dumber than you look. Your dad controls your salary, my friend. You are not your own man. You are in your father's pocket. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, your dad's successful. You're sharing in the riches. But don't sit here and act like you're a self-made man. Daddy takes care of you, my friend. Daddy takes care of you. And a few months ago, you were stared at big-time trouble. Right down the barrel. And you literally had to beg for nothing to happen. Come after me and see what happens. Come after me and see what happens. Dude, seriously, fuck these clowns who talk shit and act like they know what the fuck they're talking about. Miss me with that bullshit. One more receipt for you guys. One more receipt. A lot of guys like to tell these grandiose stories, like our guy Grand Cam just did, right? But anybody who knows, anybody who has followed me for any amount of time. Oh, by the way, I actually forgot about this. When it comes to resumes, these guys, I don't know why these guys follow these guys. These guys are sheep. You want to know why they follow guys like me? Because I've been in this community since 2014. I've written over 200 articles. I wrote 80 articles for Return of Kings, as you can plainly see here. I wrote another 120 plus articles for Negro Manosphere. 120 articles, 80 articles, starting way back in 2014. Return of Kings is and was the gold standard as far as red pill blogs were concerned. 200 articles. I've done thousands of videos. Go on to any of my social media, receipt after receipt after receipt. Receipt after receipt after receipt. Let me show you guys another set of receipts. Just to really drive the point home, because I want these guys to know, and I don't think they knew any of this. I think that Kevin and his little sidekick, they had no idea the kind of pedigree they were fucking with. I'm not just up here talking out of my ass, guys. I tell real stories. I've written real articles based on real anecdotes. I didn't parrot off anybody. This is based on my own shit. Let me go to my folder called the Legendary Windows Phone. Ah, there we are. Ah, the Legendary Windows Phone. The Legendary Windows Phone holds all the cards. On your screen is the first text message. These are actual text messages. This was from a girl I was seeing down in Indian Springs. Her name was Luce. And her and I had, we started seeing each other. Well, one day I went over to her house, drove out to Indian Springs. I walk up behind her. I grab her chesticles and bite her neck to let her know it's about to go down, and so is she. And she pulls away and says, "You haven't earned it yet." I've told this story. Dude, I've written about this on Return of Kings. I've written about it on Negro Manosphere. I've talked about it here. She says, "You haven't earned it yet." I said, "Whoa, what?" So I'm thinking she's joking, whatever the case may be. So then I go in to try again. No, I'm serious, Donovan. You haven't earned it yet. You can't just come in here and get the booty without whining and dining me first. I said, "Well, I'm not the whining and dining type." I said, "I'm not the whining and dining type." And she says, "Well, I guess you're not getting laid then." I said, "That's what you think." Grab my shit, whip the fuck out the door. Put her ass on ice. The text message on the left-hand side of your screen, this happened maybe 5 minutes after I got in my car. She's blowing up my phone. Please answer. I was just kidding around. I wanted to see if you really liked me. Then she says, "You're being silly. I'm sorry, you can do what you want to me." Oh my God. No wine and dine necessary. You can tell she wasn't the best speller in the world. She says, "Fuck you, don't call or text me again, asshole." She calls me again. "Please just call me." A little later on that night, she's like, "Whatever, I knew this was over. I just knew you just wanted sex. You were just using me, so goodbye. It was fun while it lasted." 2 minutes later, "Can you please just pick up, fucking asshole?" She's all over the place. She's calling me all day Saturday. "Answer your phone. I want to talk to you about this." She's leaving all sorts of crazy fucking voicemails. "I'm sorry about what I said on your voicemail. I didn't mean any of it." So what did I do? Monday evening, I said, "We need to talk. My place at 7. You guys have heard me tell this story many, many times before. Well, I'm going to let you guys see, for those of you who haven't seen it, the cartoon version of this story. Watch and learn. Now, this was a great arrangement as far as I was concerned until one night she tried pulling what she thought was a power move that blew up in her face. A while back, my buddies and I were out having a few cocktails at one of our favorite nighttime spots, Señor Frog's. Señor Frog's was on the Vegas Strip and was located where all the action was. There was never a shortage of hot girls there, and it didn't matter what day of the week it was. Tuesday, Sunday, Thursday, didn't matter. Señor Frog's was the place to be if you were looking to try to get some action. Anyway, we were all sipping our whiskeys and having a good time when I spot a drop-dead gorgeous Mexican girl with some of the perkiest boobs I'd ever seen sitting at a table all by herself. This was a little confusing to me because girls who look like that are almost never out alone. They're either surrounded by their girlfriends or out with a boyfriend. But seeing a smoke show sitting alone was extremely rare, even in a city like Vegas that's crawling with hotties. Now, I didn't waste any time standing around pondering why she was there, or figuring out how I should approach her, because even in a target-rich environment like this,
You snooze, you lose.
all it would take is me hesitating for a split second and someone else would slide right in and talk to her before I did. So I acted quickly and decisively, walked right over, sat at her table directly across from her, and used the greatest pickup line ever. "Hi."
I'm Donovan.
Now, even though she did see me walk up and nonchalantly take my seat, she looked a little surprised. My guess was that she probably had never been approached like that before. Now, some of you guys might think, well, how could you think that, Donovan? Hot girls get approached all the time. And you'd be wrong. Because believe it or not, super attractive women don't get hit on nearly as often as you might think. And the reason for this is because they're, well, of course, super attractive. Okay, sure. Men will strike up conversations with these girls, but they never do so in such a way that tells them in no uncertain terms that they are trying to build attraction. The truth is, 99% of men who do talk to hot girls usually just talk about the weather, or a funny video they saw on YouTube, basically any benign topic they could think of just to be talking to her. But these guys never straight up ask her for her phone number, or suggest that they hang out or go out for drinks. Most men never really make a move because they're afraid to. Why are they afraid? Because hot girls are intimidating to most men. And because of this, they are always pleasantly surprised when a man grabs his Y chromosome and just goes for it with her. Well, this was obviously the case with this girl. Anyway, after I introduced myself, she said,
"Hi, I'm Luce."
I smirked and sarcastically replied, I certainly hope not. That would make things pretty awkward tomorrow morning. She looked at the floor and smiled in embarrassment as her cheeks turned a brilliant shade of magenta. And that's when it hit me. This girl is shy. Girls who look like she does are almost never shy. If they are, it's usually because they were an ugly duckling growing up or just a natural introvert. Having lived in Vegas for as long as I had never spoken to an attractive woman who was shy. So now there were two surprised people sitting at the table. The difference was I was able to hide mine. She, however, clearly was not, which was fine by me. Now, having dated my fair share of Latinas, I knew that the word Luz was actually her name. Luz is a fairly uncommon girl's name in Mexico. It's actually spelled L-U-Z. She was maybe the third or fourth I had ever met at this point. So me knowing that this was actually her name worked to my advantage, because not only did I use it to playfully make fun of her, but to also let her know up front why I was sitting there. Remember the quote, awkward in the morning response? See what I did there? Anyway, she said,
No, my name is Luce.
And then she spelled it out.
L-U-Z.
I said, oh, thank goodness. I'd hate to have to kick you out of my apartment 2 hours after we met. I mean, how embarrassing would that be for you, right? Her grin was ear to ear as she giggled with delight. It was obvious my game was tighter than a snare drum that night because she was soaking it up like a dry sponge. I mean, this girl was quite literally tickled pink. So she says,
"I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend."
And I said,
Well, I'm not. He's not invited.
She giggled again, but this time she put her hand over her mouth to keep herself from laughing out loud. This is gonna be a slam dunk, I thought. I might not even need to get her phone number. Turns out I was wrong, because after she stopped giggling, she said,
"Let me see your phone."
I sarcastically said, no way, I don't know where your hands have been. And this time she finally laughed out loud, but only for a split second because she quickly covered her mouth and went back to giggling. After she regained her composure, she said,
"You're really not going to let me see your phone?"
I said, well, that depends. Are you going to give me your phone number or your fat ugly sister's? Because I'm going to warn you up front, fat girls give me nightmares. Once again, she giggled with delight. So I handed her my phone and she put in her digits. But as soon as she did, she got right up and left the table immediately. Now, there was no way I was going to turn around and say, wait, come back! Why? Because that would have made me look extremely desperate and very thirsty. I knew she liked me, and had I broken character and gone from charming, charismatic, and fun to me chasing her out of the bar, her attraction to me would have been gravely compromised. Now, I had no idea why she just got up and left, but I didn't really care. Maybe she was meeting up with her friends, maybe she saw someone she knew, or maybe she actually did have a boyfriend and saw him walk in. Who knows? Either way, I got the digits, and that's all that mattered. Well, the very next weekend, we started sleeping together. She lived in Indian Springs, which was roughly a half-an-hour drive from me. Yes, this was a minor inconvenience, but she always treated me very well when I went to see her. She'd have a pack of cigarettes and a bottle of my favorite whiskey waiting for me when I got there. Then she'd make me a nice meal. I mean, Luce really rolled out the red carpet for me every time I drove out there. After we ate, we'd relax and watch a movie and maybe fool around a little bit. Okay, so we never made it to the end of a movie for obvious reasons, but at least we tried, right? Now, the sex wasn't exactly mind-blowing. Don't get me wrong, it was sufficient, but she just wasn't that good in bed. Thankfully, she had the body of an adult film star, so that was a nice consolation. But like I said last week, sex with super hot girls is usually fairly average, and that's probably putting it lightly. Anyway, every Friday or Saturday night, I'd drive out to Indian Springs to see her. Now, this was a great arrangement as far as I was concerned until one night she tried pulling what she thought was a power move that blew up in her face. Before I tell you about that fiasco, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video with anyone you know who pees standing up. And if you'd like to get weekly individualized coaching, become a patron at patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. All patrons $5 and above get weekly access to my 1-hour Zoom meetings where I give coaching, do consultations, and give guidance about girls, game, finance, fitness, and anything else that pertains to becoming the best version of yourself. Okay, let's get back to my story. So I drive out there one Friday evening and everything is going the way it usually does. She had my cigarettes, my whiskey, and made a nice chicken dish. After we finished eating, we had a couple of cocktails and then of course I tried making a move to have some fun. Now usually she reciprocates and 15 seconds later she's butt naked and on her knees. But this time was a little different. Instead of letting me pull up her dress and get it in, she pulls away and says,
You haven't earned it yet.
Now, she giggled when she said it, much the way she did the night we met. So I thought she was joking around and trying to be playful. So I try again, and she pulls away again and says,
No, I'm serious. You haven't earned it yet.
Now I'm confused. I said to her, Are you kidding with this? She says,
No, I'm not kidding, Donovan. You can't just waltz in here and smash without whining and dining me a little bit.
So I said to her,
Well, I ain't the whining and dining type.
And she said,
Well then, I guess you're not getting laid tonight.
And I said, That's what you think. Grabbed my stuff and walked right out the door. You see, what this girl didn't know was that she was the side chick. I had a girlfriend at the time and she was coming to my place later that night after she got off work. This is why what Luce tried to pull didn't faze me. That's the power of abundance. Girls try to pull this nonsense all the time. They give up the booty anytime you want in the beginning and then try to take it away to control you. Now the average man would have fallen for Luce's BS, but not me. And I demonstrated as much when I left without a backwards glance when she tried this little power move of hers. And just as expected, she's blowing up my phone the entire drive back to Vegas.
Come back! I was kidding. Why are you being stupid? I'm sorry. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to whine and dine me.
Blah, blah, blah.
No, I didn't turn around, and no, I didn't respond. I straight up put her ass on ice and went radio silent on her. That entire weekend, she called and texted non-stop. Her emotions were all over the map as she couldn't seem to decide whether she loved me or hated me. And even though I fully expected this, it was still amusing to watch her squirm for a couple of days. So Monday afternoon, I ended her suffering and texted her, We need to talk, my place at 7. Now she tried poking and prodding to find out what I wanted to talk about. She tried calling and threatening not to come over and all the rest of that. The typical behavior of a woman in her predicament. But I never responded. And at 6:45, right on schedule, she gets to my place dressed like she was headed to work at a gentleman's club. Short skirt, heels, curly hair, hoop earrings, red lipstick, and a barely there blouse that covered maybe 10% of her C-cup you-know-whats. I was pretty sure she was wearing a bra. Anyway, when she nervously asked me what we needed to talk about, I shrugged my shoulders and casually said, Never mind, it wasn't a big deal. Those were my words verbatim. Luce breathed a sigh of relief and asked me what I wanted her to cook me for dinner. I told her, It's all on the counter. Medium rare. True story, guys. I had taken out a New York strip about a half an hour before she arrived because I knew that she would offer herself up on a silver platter and do whatever I wanted her to do. So before I rearranged her insides, I wanted her to cook me a steak. Not just because I was hungry, but to put her back in her place, which was subservient, submissive, and obedient with no whining and dining necessary. She was on my territory, and I wanted to drill into her psyche that she was there to serve me. So she eagerly goes into the kitchen, skirt, hoop, heels and all, cooks my steak and broccoli to perfection, then willingly and eagerly gives me access to all 3 of her luscious little holes. No exaggeration, guys. This is exactly what happened to the letter. That night of bedroom fun was far above average, and it stayed that way for quite a while, as she gladly accepted her role as my side chick for about the next 7 or 8 months. That's right, guys. The night she came over to get her brake speed off after I put her on ice, I told her I had a girlfriend and she still stuck around. She didn't like it, but she accepted it, and she still treated me like a king. That's how desperate she was to keep me in her life. This is the power of the abundance mindset, gentlemen. Eventually, she did end things because no side chick wants to be a side chick forever. They want that #1 spot. But after I shut down her 4th or 5th attempt at trying to be my main chick, she finally decided to move on. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, this one did sting a little. She was hot, she was actually a sweet girl, and did whatever I told her to. But one of the main reasons I didn't make her my main chick was because she knowingly and willingly played second fiddle to another woman, which likely means she had self-worth issues. It turns out that Luce was indeed an ugly duckling. And while that does explain her kind disposition, it also explains her promiscuous proclivities. The night I approached her at Senior Frogs, she was there with her boyfriend. That's why she got up and left as soon as she gave me her number. And while I'm fairly certain that just about every girl I've dated in the 702 probably gave their numbers out to other guys while with me, Luce actually showed me during our very first interaction that she could not be trusted in a relationship. But on the bright side, I was spending a lot less on gas, so at least I ended up in the black. And that is the story of one Luz Mendoza. Stories like that, guys. Stories like that is that proves to you guys that I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just up here making these grandiose claims about this and that. No, I tell you guys all the time. Hey, man, I have requirements of my woman, and she needs to meet those requirements. I require my woman to work out, stay in great shape, and when we smash, I require her to wear certain things. And again, I don't just say these things. This actually happens. This is Devin doing work for me. This is the middle of the day. Look what she's wearing. This was at the end of another day. She may or may not have been completely naked in that picture. This is right when I got back. This is when I got back from Phoenix. She is serving me wearing what? Hoops and heels. Then, of course, she decided to make chicken parmesan dressed like this. I'm not here to besmirch other content creators. I'm not here to do that. Certainly not here to do that. But when you got guys like Kevin Ray Wilder and Grand Scam who want to sit there and laugh and kiki and chuckle because these guys contradict themselves and these guys aren't living the lives that they say they live. Dude, go fuck yourself with that. Kevin and Grand Cam, you guys aren't going anywhere with this. You guys aren't going anywhere. The only fans that you have are fans who enjoy you talking shit about guys like me. That's it. They're not really fans of you, my friend. They're fans of you talking shit about guys like me. That's it. And listen, man, if that's going to be your shtick, cool. But at some point, you are going to cap out.